Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am Tanaya, and I am joining you live from Bangalore, India. This is the first session of the Cradle webinar series, the first session of this year, rather. And we are sorry, we are joining you after a gap of quite a few months. Of course, that was for logistical reasons. If you remember about our sessions, in Cradle sessions, we have always talked about uh, subjects related to life and growth, like we spoke about how we can manage our stress. We spoke about how we can overcome our fear. We spoke about the influence of genetics versus environment on our very being. We talked about spirituality and medical science, how it kind of influences each other, and varied such topics across all our sessions. In all our sessions, if you remember, we did emphasize on the need of having a spiritual master, a guru, or a living ideal in our lives. We have had such conversations with different speakers from different walks of life who have spoken to us, have had very, very enriching and engaging conversations on these beautiful topics that I just called out. Today is no different. We will talk about the subject again. We will talk about delve deep in again the subject of the need of a spiritual master, how having a guru helps us in our being and becoming. Of course, we have changed the format of our session a bit, obviously based on your feedback. If you remember, we used to have sessions, 1 hour long sessions, but this time we are trying to go for a shorter version. Maybe we will try to have the entire session wrapped up in overall 40 minutes. The topic for today's conversation is My Guru, My Learnings. And to discuss the topic with me today, I have somebody who whom you are very familiar with. Like you have seen him multiple times in this forum, in the Cradle sessions. He's none other than our very own Mr. Surya Prakash Mahapatra. May I please have him a little blown up in my screen? Yes, there he is, all
Namaskar.
smiles. Yeah, but thank you so much for joining in, Mr. Mahapatra. And definitely,
It's a
it's always a
pleasure to be
pleasure.
here.
Absolutely. Mine as well to speak about you. Speak about you, understand more about your life, about your journey, about how you kind of conduct yourself. I think that's what we're looking forward to in this session on the topic My Guru, My Learnings. Thank you again for joining us. And without wasting any further time, let me jump straight into the topic, Mr. Mahapatra. So, right at the onset, I would want to understand a little about your personal journey. Why don't you share it with the audience to start with?
Well, Tanay, I think I have a very simple and humble journey myself. I was born to a middle class parents and had a very humble beginning. After my schooling and my uh, education in the college, after I completed my graduation, I decided to become an entrepreneur. So I set up my own startup those days, which was not very normal, but I was kind of, you can say, I was bitten by the entrepreneurial bug and started my own enterprise about 2 decades ago. And then after running that for a couple of years, then I thought it's time for me to take a dive into the corporate world. So, in my initial years in my corporate journey, I played various roles, including business development, marketing, operations management, channel partner management, and so on. And eventually, after doing that for about 4 or 5 years, I had my foray into human resources in general and learning and development in particular. And I got into um, learning and development. I was a trainer, then a training manager. Um, Eventually, I got into a strategic role in learning and development. I've been involved in setting up learning and development functions for large MNCs across various locations across the globe. Have played very strategic roles in terms of defining, uh, implementing learning and development strategies for large organizations. In my current role, I work for a large multinational IT services company, and I lead the talent skilling function for one of the largest business units in the organization. And I'm responsible for the learning and development needs of about 120,000 people across the globe. Well, that was my professional journey. In my childhood, I accepted Sri Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra as my guru, as my guide in life. Why I accepted him? Because my parents had accepted him as the life teacher or guru. So when I accepted Sri Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra as my guide, I had no idea who he is and what is the relevance of a guide and guru in life. I just accepted. I followed this path just because my parents were following. But I think my journey in this, my spiritual journey began very early in my early childhood. While it started a journey into the unknown. Over the years, as I continued my spiritual practice, I think I evolved as a person, trying to dive deeper into the nuances of spirituality and its connection with life. And that has been a phenomenal journey.
Sure. I think that's beautiful to know. And let me also tell my audience that Mr. Mohapatra, while he talked about his current role in a large multinational IT organization leading the talent skilling or learning and development for a very, very large business line. But prior to that, he has worked with many other organizations such as HP, Microland, and has massive experience of over 25 years in the industry, and primarily I think played a huge role in the field of learning and development, leadership development, capability building, talent management. I think a wide spectrum in human resources. Apart from that, while he talked about uh, his a little about how he got introduced to his guru through his parents and how he was set off on a spiritual journey, I must also tell you that Mr. Mohapatra is a very passionate speaker. He speaks on subjects related to spirituality. He has a very popular YouTube channel, by the way. Maybe the team at the back end can put the link here as well, so that our audience can have a look. And he regularly uh, shares his nuggets of wisdom and expertise uh, with people around. And much of the knowledge nuggets he shares is in the light of the philosophy of his guru, Sri Sri Thakur Anupam Chandra. Let me come back to my questions, Mr. Mahapatra. Well, you talked about how you set off in the spiritual journey, um, but how do you think having a guru helps individuals, and particularly maybe has helped you in your journey so far?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A guru who is a guide can have an enormous influence on life. And as all of us know that, if you have to learn how to swim, you need a swimming teacher. If you want to learn how to play music, a musical instrument, we need a music teacher. What about our life? Life and its nuances, the complexities, How about learning how to navigate through the complexities of life? Don't we need a life teacher? All of us need one. We need a guru in life. We need a omniscient guru who knows our journey, who knows where we are in the journey of our evolution. And such a person can be a guiding force, can be the Mr. Dependable, as we say. We need, all of us need such a foundation in our life. How having a guru in my life has helped me? Well, personally, I think having a guru or life teacher in my life has really helped me have clarity of vision. All of us in this world today are in a race. Especially in the corporate world, we use the word rat race very frequently. So often we are in a race without knowing where we are heading to. What is our destination? What is our goal? Um, and many of us.
Did we lose Mr. Mahapatra? I think we did. He was very beautifully talking about, the need of a guru in our lives, and he was kind of, talking about how in the corporate world we are pretty much in a rat race, right? Everybody trying to, get over each other. Not sure what we are chasing, but then everybody is chasing something. We'll wait for him to come back. Uh, but then I think I will also, as Mr. Mohapatra comes back, I'm sure it might be a network glitch. I will also add my perspectives here. Mr. Mohapatra was talking about the clarity of vision that having a guru gives us. Or definitely so. And I think from, if anybody asks me what has helped me by having a guru, how I have got benefited or helped, one thing I would like to call out very strongly is that I have definitely become more disciplined. And discipline, as my father always used to say when we were kids, is a very nucleus of life, right? So the discipline, I would talk a little about it, right? Like, as per the guidelines or the teachings of my guru, we wake up very early in the morning, right before sunrise. We have a prayer of gratitude that we all do right in the morning before taking any food or water or doing any other work. The one thing which we do is give an offering to our guru and say a prayer of gratitude, right? Then we have our morning rituals, prayers, I think, which goes on. Again, in the evening, we have a prayer time. In the night, again, we have the meditation time, right when we, hit the bed. So, right, like those, right, there are certain rituals which are ingrained in us through the teachings of our guru, which at least it has made me very, very disciplined. So, Mr. Mahapatra, as I think you went out of the studio a bit, I think maybe because of a network glitch, I was trying to talk about my experience as to how having a guru has helped me in my personal journey. And what I was saying is that certainly because of my guru, I have become more disciplined. And I was talking about those rituals of prayer and offerings in the morning, gratitude, and which has got kind of inculcated in us because of our guru. So you were talking about the corporate environment when you dropped off. No, please continue. Carry on, please.
Yes, yes, my apologies. I think there was a bit of a network issue. I'm back. I was talking about, how having a guru in life has given me clarity of vision. So when we are in the journey of life, we often move in a race without knowing where we are heading to. It's very important to know what is our destination, what is the goal and purpose of life. For that, we need clarity of vision. By having Sri Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra as my guide, I have developed a deeper understanding of life, relationship of myself with my environment, with the universe, relationship with of everything in this universe with everything else, is a very, very interesting and large subject. And then when we try to dive deeper into nature, understanding of life, and understanding his relationship with us, I think that gives us a very holistic perspective of life. I think that is something which I have developed. And this has helped me in having great relationships with people around me, with my colleagues, with my family, with people in the environment. Because when people behave in a certain way, you understand what is underneath their behavior. You understand the
Right.
root cause of why people behave in a particular way. So you don't get irritated. You don't get unnecessarily disturbed. Your mind is more focused on the root cause, and the mind is looking for solutions rather than to the problem or the consequence of the problem, and why somebody, rather than getting irritated by something, we try to find the root cause of something. And that really helps in building relationships. It helps in finding solutions, and it really helps us in moving. It helps us in navigating through the complexities of life. I think having a guru in life has really helped me deal with stress and anxiety much better. When at the workplace, many a time my colleagues ask me, "Hey, how can you be so calm and composed?" When our corporate jobs are so stressful, and whenever we are stressed, we feel like going out, smoking a cigarette. On Fridays, we need to go to a bar to have some drinks. But you don't do all of this, but you still remain calm. How do you do this? I talk about my guru, who is my inner strength, who is an enormous amount of strength and inspiration for me. And when you draw that inspiration from your living ideal or master, why do you have to take shelter to anything which can only bring you some temporary relief from stress, which is actually not real relief, which is some kind of a temporary relief, which really does more harm than good in the long run. So my ability to deal with stress and anxiety has really improved. Some of my team members, when they come to me and then say, "Surya, there's a problem," I say, "Okay, we'll find a solution to it." You know, they say, "Well, you have not even heard about the problem. How can you say we'll find a solution? This is a very big problem, Surya." I say, "Look, we'll find a solution. Every problem has a solution." I think the ability to detaching myself from my problem and looking at it from an external perspective is a ability that I've developed by having this spiritual master or guru in my life. I think that has really immense help. The list, Tanaya, is very long. I mean, if I have to really talk
Sure.
about how I have really benefited, but in the interest of time, I would like to kind of keep it brief, and we'll see if there are more
Absolutely.
questions, then I'll try and answer.
Absolutely. You were talking, Mr. Mahapatra, on the corporate life. I mean, we all know, and I myself am a part of the same. It's just all about aggression, generating, more wealth, market capitalization, revenue, profits, hordes of numbers staring us in the face, right? So, how do you think with this spiritual bent of mind, you fit in this entire maze, corporate maze, if I may call so?
Yeah, I faced this question many a time. Sometimes colleagues ask, "Hey, so yeah, corporate life requires a lot of aggression. Is all about material prosperity, revenue, as you said, revenue, operating margin, and all of that. A person with spiritual bent of mind doesn't fit in there." But my question would be, is there really a difference between material life and spiritual life, or material world and spiritual world? Because matter and spirit are two different stages in the same continuum. When we talk about matter, behind matter there is spirit. Spirit is the cause of matter. So whatever we see, we touch and feel is matter, and what is behind that is spirit. scientist, the very famous equation E is equal to mc square, talks about the interchangeability of matter and spirit. So when spirit is condensed, it becomes matter, and when matter dissipates, it becomes spirit. So they are the same thing. So it's like behind the water there is water vapor, and then behind the ice there is water. And so if you talk about ice, there is water inside it. So if you talk about water, there is water vapor inside it. Maybe we can't see that. So when we talk about material world, material prosperity, when we talk about profits, revenues, etc., we need to understand there is spirit or energy behind it. So material world is a combination of all our material possessions and material objects. And spiritual world is a combination of all our thoughts, ideas, beliefs, emotions, values, everything. So if I want to have a watch, first I have a thought about a watch, and then I materialize that thought into an object, a material object. So similarly, in the business world, all the material prosperity we talk about, behind that there are thoughts, there are ideas, there are beliefs, there is a sense of purpose. So the higher is the thought, the higher and when the thought materializes into an object, it is the reflection of our thought. So the higher is our thought, the higher is the object that we obtain. So the higher is our thoughts and ideas, the higher is our material life. So what I essentially believe, that if you really want to prosper in a material world, we need to have a very high qualitative spiritual life. And if our thoughts are genuine, pure, this will translate into material prosperity. But in the absence of that, we may have temporary material progress, but that may not really lead to sustainable long-term material progress. In the business world also, we have seen people, organizations which did not possess the values, the ethics, in spite of going up and rising and excelling in material prosperity, their downfall also has been equally glorified, if I have to say. So I personally believe that my spiritual bent of mind has really helped me to achieve whatever little I've achieved in my corporate life. In the corporate world, you need to have empathy for your customers. You need to have empathy for your people. You need to have strong determination. You need to have strong willpower. You need to have resilience. Where do you get all these qualities? You get all these qualities if you have a spiritual foundation. Without that, you cannot have those
Absolutely.
traits and qualities which will make you successful in the corporate world.
Absolutely, absolutely. And very beautifully explained. I think that spiritual world and material world, we cannot see it in silos. Rather, we have to look at a very holistic approach of looking at those things, and things are related to each other because everything stems from the thoughts. Very nicely put, Mr.
And Tanaya,
Maharaj.
you are a
And
corporate
one
leader yourself. Why don't you share your experience? I think.
absolutely. One thing I think where I have got tremendously benefited by the guidance of my spiritual master, Shushi Thakur, is that one message wherein he says, treat others the way you want to be treated. And it's very close to my heart. So whenever, I'm in a situation dealing with people, I always make sure that I always try to put myself in that person's shoes and try to act accordingly. It tremendously helped me. The next thing I think is self awareness. I think what some of the spiritual practices does to us, and I personally experienced this myself, right? One of the practices that we do is this Nam Dhyan or Nam Japa. There is a holy name which we practice chanting. I think one thing which I have seen a difference in myself is that I have become more aware of myself, my emotions. Like, for example, uh, at one point of time, If say I am being very proud or egoistic about something, the very moment my mind will tell me, no, this is ego. Okay, or if I am getting greedy on something, my mind will tell me, you're being greedy here. Okay, so I think some of these things, right, is it holds a mirror before us, and we are able to see ourselves. And I think once we accept and acknowledge, or we are able to identify our emotions or our complexes, I think we are in a better position to kind of face those complexes and overcome this. And this is a clear thing which I have seen in myself as I have progressed in my journey. And I think overall thing what you spoke, or rather what I talked about now, I think it all is very much related to a term called emotional intelligence, right? This is called emotional intelligence, wherein we are able to understand our emotions, we're able to understand the emotions of others. And this is a competency rather which is talked about much in the corporate world. To grow in the corporate world, apart from your uh, IQ, you definitely have to have a very high EQ. And I think spirituality, having a spiritual or bent of mind, helps us in developing our emotional intelligence, emotional quotient, as you may call it. So I think that's my experience, Mr. Mohapatra. Uh, let us take
Beautifully
the
said.
conversation forward. I'm just keeping a constant watch on the time as well. Well, any uncomfortable phase or incident in your life, Mr. Mohapatra, uh, which you would have liked to avoid at any cost? And if, say, and I'm talking about a hypothetical scenario, if given a chance to go back uh, or handle it in a different way, would you like, what would that be? And maybe, in light of Srishi Thakur's philosophy, if you're able to handle it better, you could have handled it better. So you may like to, share about the same here.
Yeah, I'll pick up one incident from my personal life. As young parents, I'm talking about my son when he was very young. Um, we were on a visit to Deoghar, the Satsang ashram, and my son
Okay.
was very young at that time. He was a small kid, and he was a restless child. And I and my wife took him to our Acharya Dev, who is the present Acharya Dev of Satsang. And we took him to him, and then we said, Dada, you know, this is our son. He's a very restless child. Why don't you advise him to become a nicer, quieter boy, and then, a more obedient child, and so on. And as parents, we thought that he would give some advice to our son, or he will give us some advice to us, about how he can become a quieter and then more obedient child and so on. But he said something very, very profound, which we had never imagined. Our Acharya Dev said, ignite in him love for his parents. Ignite in him love for his parents. You don't have to worry about anything else. So we were worried parents. And then we thought that he will give us some nuggets, do this, do that, some do's and don'ts, etc. But he just said one sentence, which was so powerful. And then how much we understood at that point in time, I don't know. But when we came back, we slowly and slowly understood the profoundness of that small statement, that ignite in him love for your parents. And we understood the value of that, a few months and years later. And we realized how important it is for a mother to keep on telling the child that have love and respect for your father. How important it is for a father to tell the child that you must love your mother, take care of your mother. That's how you do this. On another occasion, he had said something again about parenting. He said, for a child, the father has to be a hero and the mother has to be the world. Such a profound statement. The father has to be a hero for the child and the mother has to be the world. For the child, the mother has to be everything. The mother is the world for the child. So a child will never keep any secret before his mother. He will discuss everything with his mother. And for him or her, the father is like a hero. Nobody is compared with his father because he is a supernatural, a superhuman being. These profound nuggets are really powerful and have really made us realize in that parenting journey that had I known some of this, applied some of those earlier on, maybe it would have been much more meaningful. But it was never late because those nuggets were always helpful and helped us in becoming better parents.
Beautiful. I think parents who are watching our show, please do make a note. Such profound thoughts there. And these are the teachings of our Gurudev, Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, obviously reiterated by the present Acharya Dev. And, Mr. Mahapatra just spoke about the personal incident wherein he got that advice. Very, very profound. And I must tell you, I must tell the audience here, well, uh, I know Mr. Mohapatra's son. He is a part of the team here as well, working in the back end. His name is Ridhanand Mohapatra. And I will tell you one incident. And by the way, I'm talking about this, Mr. Mohapatra, because you have really raised a wonderful son. In one of our sessions, and this was during the COVID time. Okay, again, Suryada was supposed to have that session with one of our panelists. Okay, and incidentally, that time he was taking the COVID vaccine. Okay, so suddenly I got a frantic message from Riddhanand saying that would you please be a backup for my father today? Would you please rather keep yourself prepared for the session, because my father is taking the vaccine today and he might run temperature. And I was like, so, I mean, surprised at the same time, pleasantly surprised, I would say, and happy to see that in this generation, right, children are having that thought for their and care for their parents. I think that is where the good parenting, uh, by the through the teachings, by following the teachings of spiritual master Sri Sri Thakur, helped Mr. Mahapatra. Congratulations to you and to your wife on raising a lovely child. And we hope that parents like us take inspiration from the same.
Thank
Coming
you,
back.
Tarina. The credit entirely goes to Sri Thakur and Acharya Dev.
Thank you. And my last question to you, obviously, after that, I will do a rapid fire round with you. But, entirely through today's session, you again and again, you talked about your spiritual master, our spiritual master, rather, Sri Sri Thakur. Would you like to talk a little more about him and his teachings? Maybe another 3 minutes, and then we go to the rapid fire round.
Okay. Sri Thakur has a profound life. I don't know where to start and what to talk about because his life is so vast. I would just like pick up one incident about his life. There was an American devotee who came to Sri Thakur, stayed in the ashram, satsang ashram, for a few days, and it was time for him to go back. And when he was going back, the inmates in the ashram asked him, brother, you stayed in this ashram and spent some time with Sri Thakur for a few days. Now that you're going back, what would you talk about Sri Thakur? What is your impression about Sri Thakur? The American gentleman replied. He said, I have seen many people in this world, many great men in this world. But Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra is the only person in this world who has got unparalleled love and profound insights. I've seen great intelligent people who have great insights, but they lack love. I've seen many loving people, but they may not be as wise as Sri Thakur. But I've never seen a human being who combines the two, unparalleled love and profound insights. This is Sri Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, our spiritual guide, who is love personified, who is an ocean of love and also an omniscient personality. The mission of Sri Sri Thakur was that of man making. His mission was man making and man remaking. You might ask me, when a man is a superior intelligent species in this universe, in this earth, what is this man making all about? Well, we all know that every human being is infinitely capable, but it's only a possibility. Every human being is born with infinite possibilities, but that does not mean that every human being will become infinitely capable. Sri Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra says, a man is born with possibilities, but that has to be translated into reality. That is what man making is all about. And for that, we need a guru or life teacher in life who understands every human being. What are the special, distinct qualities every human being brings, and how these qualities can be brought out, developed. Every human being is designed to become something. Each one of us is designed to become an Albert Einstein or a Lata Mangeshkar or a Sachin Tendulkar or something else. But very few of us actually become what we are designed to become, because our parents don't know what we are designed to become. They don't know how to rear us. We ourselves don't know what we are designed to become. Only a guide, a guru in life knows what we are designed to become, and he can help us become that. That's why we need a living teacher, a guru. And Sri Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra is one such guide or guru who is called fulfiller of instincts. That's while his philosophy is vast, unfathomable, but I just thought I will just call out one aspect of his philosophy, which is absolutely immensely profound, which is man making. Thank you, Tanaya.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's always lovely to keep on listening to you, Mr. Mahapatra, and talking, and particularly when you talk about the philosophy, the teachings of our beloved spiritual master Sri Sri Thakur, and we reiterate through all our sessions to the entire audience that it is so very important to have a living ideal, a spiritual master, a guru in our lives. Oh, well, without much ado, let me move to the rapid fire round. Well, I have 4 questions in total, and I would need a very, very crisp, rather a one liner response from you, Mr. Mohapatra. May I get started, please?
Sure.
Absolutely. So, out of all the messages of your guru, our guru, which is your personal favorite message?
There is one message which always inspires me, and this goes like this. Sri Sri Thakur Janakul Chandra's words. To be anxious about one's own distress, suffering, or death on seeing that of others, and to be broken, bewildered, and distraught thereby is weakness. But the eyes of those who are strong are always seeking for a remedy in everything they do, and in such a way that no one is shattered while in that condition. To find the remedy with love, as did Lord Buddha, is the sign of a courageous heart. This is one sentence, this is one statement which has always helped me find inspiration, even at tough and difficult times.
Absolutely. So the message actually conveys that rather than getting scared or frightened by looking at the pain in the world of others, we must rather focus on solving it for others. We must, focus on finding out a remedy rather than getting, scared or frustrated about it. Well, the second question is any particular message that you are not able to follow still?
Sri Sri Thakur's message has been to serve the environment. I think I need to do more. I really need to step out and then serve my environment more and more, which I don't think I have been able to do justice so
Sure.
far.
Sure, we will talk about more about it in our upcoming sessions. Maybe the greatest challenge you face while talking about spirituality to people around. The greatest challenge you face.
I think it's the greatest challenge is today people pretend to know everything about spirituality. That is the biggest challenge. There is plethora of information in this world of technology. And when you try to Google spirituality, you just find millions of
Absolutely,
findings.
absolutely.
You find millions of YouTube
Sure,
videos. So that is the problem.
sure, absolutely. Final question, one-liner message for the people watching us today from your side.
The final message would be, my dear friends, if you really want to make your life beautiful, symmetrical, harmonious, balanced, find a center, love center in your life. We can't draw a circle without a center. We can't have a beautiful, harmonious life without a love center, a guru or master in life. Find one if you haven't found one yet.
Absolutely. I reiterate the same message, and we have been doing as a part of the Cradle webinar series. Uh, Please do find a spiritual master, get aligned to a spiritual master, make him rather the center of your being, your life, your growth, and see the magic unveil itself. Well, that brings us to the end of this session today. Like every time, Mr. Mohapatra, it's always a joy talking to you. Great learning, and thank you so much for being with us and enlightening us. Thank you to the entire audience, our lovely audience. Please do post your questions on the chat on the Facebook page, and we will try our best to respond to you. Thank you so much. It's Tanaya and Mr. Mohapatra signing off today. Take care. Namaskar.
Thank you. Namaskar.